Purpose. A hard word to define, perhaps, yet we're born with it. It may not have a name or a face. We may not see it as purpose, but it is there. Purpose is the eternal quest to be connected with something larger than our own life. It is an answer to the spiritual question, for the sake of what? For the sake of what am I living? What is the true meaning of my existence here and now? The word purpose, misused and open to challenge as it is, still conveys a question that each of us must answer. Purpose is like art. We know it when we embody it. It comes through us as we gaze at the northern lights in the clear, cold fall sky. It is the deep center we feel as we warm ourselves around a fire on the plains of East Africa. It is the helper's high we feel when we make a difference in another's life. We sense our place in the grand pattern of life. We feel centered. Some people claim that there is no grand pattern of life, no reason for our being here. They claim that purpose is an invention of people who refuse to face the harsh realities of life, or who deny death. They argue for purely rational explanations of our true nature. We should not argue with these people. They are the people that Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi observed when he wrote, "A frog in a well cannot be talked to about the sea." If you sense a call to the sea, a purpose in your life, it's time to choose. You must leave the well to those who enjoy debating the temperature of the water in the well in which they are trapped. Their well is a place that they have chosen over a sea that is not yet seen. Purpose is a path to the sea. There are many paths, and like life, paths are uncertain. Tennessee Williams wrote, "There is a time of departure, even when there's no certain place to go." How do we know when it's time to depart? How do we find the path to the sea? Answering the call to the sea. Today, when we think of exploring a new path, we recognize that we are more vulnerable and that life is more difficult than we'd been led to expect. There's a widespread sense among many people that everything that was once tied down is coming loose. On September 11th, 2001, the world absorbed a devastating act of darkness. Suddenly, we were forced to think deeply about what matters most in our lives. When faced with a crisis this immense, matters of purpose could seem trivial. But the truth is that the question, for the sake of what, became the operative question of the day. Purpose was not trivial, but essential. The events of September 11th called us to the sea. They called us to ask the big question, not only so we could cope and heal, but also so we could make sense of the new world we're living in. The tragedy brought forth the question in firefighters, rescue workers, and ordinary people who dropped everything simply to serve. Their deeds were a witness to our intrinsic purpose and a clear answer to the question, for the sake of what? It is a great tragedy that the big question is never asked by many except in a crisis. And when we are confronted with a crisis, then we are given a choice to answer the call, to fulfill our highest purpose. What matters are the choices we make in a crisis. Purpose is our answer to the question, for the sake of what? Our answer is crucial to our health and happiness. Our bodies need messages of hope from the brain to cope and to heal. Those of powerful purpose have always known this. They have understood that a meaningful life must somehow celebrate the purpose that life provides. They have understood what the great South African playwright Ethel Fugard wrote. The only thing that ever matters in this world is what one person does or says to another person. After 27 years in prison, Nelson Mandela knew this. He demanded dignity for himself and his people, and got it because he was centered in the big question. Despite his stature as one of the most admired people in the world, Mandela never lost his sense of the African tradition of Ubuntu, described by retired Anglican Archbishop Desmond Tutu as, "A person is a person through other persons."